All right, let's talk about something we can all relate to, the roommate search. You put an ad out there, you start getting replies, and you try to figure out who's the least likely to be a secret weirdo. The whole thing can be a total nightmare. But what if I told you that your absolute worst roommate story has nothing on the pure, unfiltered chaos of living with Donald Duck? You know the scene, right? You get home from a long day, you're starving, and you walk into the kitchen to find a mountain of crusty plates. It's annoying, but you can deal with it. Or hey, maybe you've had the phantom food thief. You buy that really good ice cream, you're looking forward to it all day, and when you finally open the freezer, it's gone. Just gone. Infuriating? You bet. Well, all of a sudden, those dirty dishes and that stolen pint of ice cream, they sound kind of nice, don't they? Like a sweet memory from a much simpler time. Because living with the world's most famously furious fowl wouldn't just be annoying. Oh no, it would be a nonstop Category 5 hurricane of domestic disaster. So, before we even think about signing a hypothetical lease, we got to do a background check on our applicant, right? Let's take a look at the resume of one Mr. Fauntleroy Duck. We need to know if this whole hot-headed thing is just a phase or, well, let's see what we've got. Okay, so his professional history goes all the way back to 1934. And you know what? The core personality traits were there from day one. This temper isn't a bug, it's a feature, and it's been a bestseller for over 90 years. His nephews show up, he gets his own cartoons, but the one thing that never, ever changes is that legendary frustration. In fact, his rage is so unique, it basically has its own language. Angrish. Seriously, this isn't just yelling. It's an entire communication system built on pure fury. It's got words you can almost make out and gestures that are crystal clear. It's the official language of someone who just stubbed their toe on the universe. All right, background check is done. Now, let's get to the main events. We've combed through nearly a century of data to bring you the 7 definitive reasons why Donald Duck would be, without a single doubt, the worst roommate in the history of, well, history. Kicking it off with reason number 1. Forget trying to argue about whose turn it is to take out the trash. Just imagine trying to have a normal conversation. You ask something simple like, "Hey Don, did you pay the electric bill?" And the answer you get sounds like a garbage disposal chewing on gravel. On a good day, his speech is only partly intelligible. On a bad day, it's a full-on, squawking tornado of anguish. You'll have no idea if he's mad about the Wi-Fi being slow or if he's just declared war on the microwave. Okay, on to number 2. And this is where things start to get expensive. We are not talking about just a bad mood here. This is a hair-trigger temper with an apocalyptic blast radius. There's a classic cartoon where he can't get a window open at Daisy's house. What does a normal person do? Maybe wiggle it a bit. Donald goes on a rampage that completely demolishes her living room. Your security deposit? It would simply evaporate. Moving on to reason number 3. Even if your apartment manages to survive his temper, you've got another huge problem, actually paying for it. Donald's financial situation is, let's just call it unstable. The guy can't seem to hold down a job for more than 5 minutes. So is he going to have his share of the rent on the first of the month? Ha! Not a chance. This is a duck who was once so broke before a date, he literally robbed his own nephew's piggy bank. He steals from children. Your landlord is not getting that rent check. Reason number 4. Let's talk about something called collateral damage. See, it's not just the tantrums. Reckless destruction is his default setting. He was in a magic show once, got annoyed, grabbed a revolver, and just started blasting away on stage until the whole theater collapsed. Another time, he got locked in a department store and was found by a crowd just clobbering a robotic Santa Claus. Nothing in your apartment would be safe. And for our 5th reason, just remember, you're not just renting a room, you're inheriting his enemies. Donald doesn't have disagreements, he has all-out wars. His feuds with neighbors are the stuff of legend. We're talking about tactics that would probably be banned by the Geneva Convention. Ink-filled footballs, air raid sirens as musical instruments, full-blown battles that make the evening news. Your shared backyard would become a demilitarized zone. Good luck having a barbecue. Number 6. And if the neighborhood wars weren't enough to scare you off, this one's a little darker, because it's not just about anger. There's a pattern here. Yeah, sometimes he's not just reacting. Sometimes he's just mean. He put lit firecrackers in his nephew's trick-or-treat bags. He deliberately destroyed their snowman just for the fun of it. He's in a perpetual state of war with a tiny bee over some honey. He's a bully, plain and simple, especially to his own family. That is a gigantic red flag. And that brings us, finally, to the seventh and most terrifying reason you should never, ever, ever let this duck sign that lease. I am not exaggerating. This is not a joke. In the movie Fun and Fancy Free, Donald, Mickey, and Goofy are starving. But while Mickey and Goofy are just kind of sad about it, Donald goes full-on hangry. So hangry that he grabs a hatchet and tries to murder their cow. His eyes go crazy. He gets that he hears Donnie look. This isn't just a bad roommate. This is a horror movie villain waiting to happen, and all it takes is low blood sugar to set him off. So after hearing all that, you're probably wondering, then why on earth do we love this guy? And that is a totally fair question. The answer is simple. There's a huge difference between a character you watch and a person you have to share a bathroom with. You can see the split right here. On screen, his frustration is hilarious. We relate to it. His slapstick failures are comedy gold because we don't have to clean up the mess or pay for the damages. But as a roommate, every single one of those lovable quirks becomes a real-world nightmare. He's not a relatable underdog. He's a dangerous liability who will get you evicted and maybe, possibly, try to eat your cat. So, the next time your roommate leaves a mess in the kitchen or forgets to buy toilet paper, just take a deep breath. It could be so much worse. You could be living with a broke, semi-intelligent, rageaholic with a rap sheet of property damage, neighborhood warfare, and attempted barnyard homicide. Suddenly that burnt toast on the counter doesn't seem so bad, does it?